Dementia residents have very few of the homely comforts, but that's exactly what's needed in their bedrooms so that they can relax, unwind and welcome visitors. Because often what happens is that visitors come, the dementia residents in the lounge, so they stay there, but it can be quite uncomfortable. It's like a big, noisy, palatial hotel. Whereas if they've got a cozy little room that you can sit in, you know, which is warm and has a little view, and it's private and quiet, it can be a lot more pleasant to entertain relatives and visitors there than in the noisy, palatial, public facility, which is what the lounge is. But the room needs to be set up in such a way that it is comfortable in terms of seating and heating and view and all the rest of it. Now, seating is actually a really big aspect in dementia residents' rooms, and it actually depends to a certain extent, interestingly enough, on the height of the person. Because if it's a big, tall, you know, if the dementia resident is a big, tall man, say 6 foot or more, and he has a lazy boy chair which he's brought in, important for comfort and relaxation, then when that's stretched out, that'll take up half the room. There'll be no more room for any other seating. So in that specific case, the relative will need to sit on the bed, which will be the only other piece of furniture that there's room for, standard being the bed. But if it's a small little lady, and she'll be able to put a little two-seater in her room, and you can sit on one side, she can sit on the other, or maybe 2 small chairs may be able to be fitted in as well. But whatever the arrangement, it's important that it's comfortable, both for the dementia resident primarily and the relative. Now, if the relative is a bit disabled, then it's, you know, and has difficulty with sitting, pain, arthritis, whatever, then of course it's more important to have a comfortable seat for them, but hopefully one that's not too big, because dementia residents' rooms are small. What actually happens as well a lot of the time, I've found, is that with the female dementia residents, say they're a small lady, Alzheimer's, elderly, with a little walker with a seat on it, what often happens is that the husbands often use the walker's seat as a seat for them. Quite handy actually, because in the public facility they can just wheel up the walker and sit on it. Takes half the size, half the room of a big chair. It's quite nifty and handy, space efficient. And also in the room, rather than a chair, the walker will be there anyway, because the dementia resident needs it, so they can just use it as a seat. Those that are fit and able to sit on such seats, they look pretty uncomfortable, but actually maybe they're not, because you can use the handlebars for, you know, to rest your forearms on, and the seat seems to be suitable and of a good height. Men sit on them a lot anyway. So with the room, it needs to be welcoming for visitors, warm and welcoming and comfortable being the main points. And then the dementia resident can have a nice time with their relatives. Some people don't like public places. They don't like being amongst lots of other people. Certainly when the dementia resident first comes into the facility, privacy is important. So many personal issues to go through, so much stress, anxiety, angst, things that need to be discussed. So in the room, to be able to do that rather than in a public place. I mean, in time, as things ease up and hopefully the person gets to adjust to the dementia unit, everything calms down, then maybe later going into the lounge will be fine, especially when you start to make friends and join in activities. Then it's actually an enjoyable place. But at the start, it's really hard. And so having a nice little bedroom like your lounge at home where you can entertain your visitors and discuss private things is very important. So I've written about these topics in the Resident's Voice and the Resident's Rise companion books on Amazon, easy read, everything in the description below. Thank you for your subscriptions, likes and comments, and for the support of this channel.